We all know that the most valuable real estate in your home during the holidays is the stovetop and the oven. That's why it kills me when I see people wasting so much precious space in the oven and the stovetop, making these holiday dishes that are way easier and faster in the Instant Pot. These 4 dishes today are going to blow your mind, so let's start with the first one. The first recipe you should never make again on the stovetop are mashed potatoes. First, rinse and wash your potatoes, then peel them and cut into 1-inch cubes. If you cut into halves or they're bigger, make sure you add 2 to 4 minutes to the cook time. Add 1 cup of chicken broth to your potatoes, and then that's all you have to do. Lock the lid, set the knob to sealing, then cook on manual high pressure for 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how large your potatoes are. These cooked for 7 minutes. I recommend using russet potatoes, those are really good, or red potatoes are also delicious for mashed potatoes because they're very starchy and they have really good flavor. After the 7 minutes are up, make sure you do a quick release, otherwise the potatoes may burn or brown on the bottom. Open the lid and check the potatoes with a fork or a knife to ensure that they're cooked all the way through. You shouldn't have any excess liquid in your Instant Pot, but if you do, just drain them and add them back to the Instant Pot. Then we like to mash our potatoes with butter and half, and I only do a little bit of salt because usually the gravy in the meal has a lot of salt in it, so I don't do too much salt in my mashed potatoes. I also recommend using an actual potato masher versus a stand or hand mixer because you don't want to over mix your potatoes. That's what makes them all gloopy and hard and starchy, so do them by hand and they are going to be amazing. I will never make cranberry sauce on the stove again after using my Instant Pot. To begin, add 12 ounces of washed fresh cranberries to your Instant Pot, and I'm using my 3-quart Instant Pot here today, and then add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. You can also do half a cup of sugar, kind of play around with how sweet you like it. Next, add a 1/4 cup of apple juice, and I didn't have apple juice today, so I just used some applesauce. That's totally fine. Then add a 1/4 cup of orange juice. You can use fresh or, whatever you get at the grocery store. And then grate in about a 1/4 teaspoon to half a teaspoon of fresh ginger. This really makes a big difference, and if you can get fresh, I definitely recommend it. If you don't have fresh, just use a little bit of powdered ginger and that will work fine as well. Then I always eyeball just about half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We love cinnamon in ours, so I usually add just a little extra. Mix to coat and combine all of the ingredients, and then we will pressure cook this for just 5 minutes on high pressure. The big thing with this is to make sure that you allow a full natural pressure release. This usually takes about 30 minutes because if you don't, you will have cranberry sauce going everywhere. Cranberry sauce will froth and you want to make sure that that pressure comes down very slowly and naturally. After the 30 minutes, remove the lid and stir until those berries break up a little bit and you get the consistency to your liking. If you want it a little bit thicker, you can simmer this on low saute for a couple minutes to reduce it, but once it cools, it will thicken up. You can store this in the refrigerator for several weeks before Thanksgiving, so you can make this early on. Look how delicious this looks, and I use it on turkey sandwiches, pork tenderloin, and of course, Thanksgiving dinner. I always get so many compliments whenever I make my Instant Pot bacon green beans for a weeknight dinner or for the holidays. They are so delicious. So to start, we are going to press the saute button on the Instant Pot and adjust to high. Add 3 pieces of sliced thick cut bacon and cook them until they're nice and crispy. If you like, you can also add 3 large mushrooms that are diced up at this point, but I didn't have any today. So we're just going to add 2 tablespoons of dried onion flakes, 1.5 tablespoons of minced garlic. Deglaze the pot with half a cup of water mixed with 1 teaspoon of chicken better than bouillon, and it's going to be a little steamy because it's on saute, but then you also add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Then take a wooden spoon and scrape the bottom of the pot, all those brown bits. This is really important because we don't want anything to burn. Next, add 2 pounds of fresh green beans that have been washed and the ends have been cut off. I like to use the French green beans. Mix everything together for a couple seconds, then lock the lid, turn the knob to sealing, and cook on manual high pressure for just 2 minutes. Allow a 5-minute natural pressure release, then remove the lid. Transfer the green beans to a serving bowl or a platter, and make sure you get all of that sauce, the bacon, the mushrooms if you still have them, and pour it all over the green beans. These are so good for any type of dinner, but I love to serve them for the holidays. Definitely one of the dishes I will never make on the stovetop again. I feel like you either love sweet potato casserole or you don't. I happen to love it, so let's make it in the Instant Pot. First, place a trivet into your Instant Pot. You need something to keep the sweet potatoes off the bottom of the pot. I like to quarter them like this and peel the skins off after, because it's way easier to do it after they're cooked versus before. Then add 1 cup of water to the Instant Pot, and we're going to just steam them like this. For these sweet potatoes, I did 35 minutes with a quick release. After they're done cooking, remove the sweet potatoes from the Instant Pot, take off the skins, and then put them back in the Instant Pot so you can mash them up in there. If you don't want to do that, you can also mash them in a separate bowl. To your sweet potatoes, add half a cup of softened butter, 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of sugar, depending on how sweet you like it, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Take a hand mixer or a potato masher like this and mash this all together. It's basically like you're making sweet potato mash. After the sweet potatoes are mostly mashed, add 4 beaten eggs while you're mixing. Adding the eggs to the sweet potato casserole makes it really fluffy and gives it more of a souffle texture. Make sure that your Instant Pot is not on keep warm or the saute function, because we don't want to cook the eggs, we just want to make sure that they get blended in. Spray a 9x13 pan with nonstick spray, then spread the sweet potato mixture evenly into the pan. And next we'll make our streusel. Start with half a cup of melted butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mash this all together to make a yummy streusel, and then add 1.5 cups to 2 cups of chopped pecans. Then mix this all together. Add a generous layer of the streusel on top of the sweet potato casserole, and you may have some left over, and that's okay. Bake this at 375 for 30 to 35 minutes or until the streusel is firm and golden and bubbly. Let it cool for about 10 minutes to set, and then enjoy. I hope you learned a thing or two about how you can save time and space by using your Instant Pot during your holiday cooking. If you like this video, make sure you watch this one next, or you can watch this one, which I know you really like as well. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.